Sword Art Online is an absolute dumpster fire of a series, but as pathetic as the show is, its fan base is even more unbearable. These people are toxic, loud, embarrassingly delusional, and act like gatekeepers for a show that doesn't even deserve to exist. Interacting with Sword Art Online fans is like willingly walking into a pit of screeching banshees, each one convinced their garbage taste makes them superior to the rest. The Sword Art Online fanbase is easily my least favorite thing on this planet. I genuinely can't think of anything else that irritates me more. I hate Sword Art Online fans more than Lex Luthor hates Superman. You could say I'm being a little mean to the Sword Art Online fans, and you'd be absolutely right.
I'm a little mean to people who are dumb, and most people are dumb.
I know I've already made several videos bashing the Sword Art Online fanbase, but that's not nearly enough. I have to keep going. It's like that scene in Yu-Gi-Oh! Where the Pharaoh keeps ordering Breaker to attack Weevil's life points over and over again, even though the duel was already won ages ago. Here's the kicker. Even the Sword Art Online fans themselves can't stand each other. The internal infighting is so intense that the fans spend more time tearing each other apart than actually defending the show. You know your fandom is a complete failure when it implodes under the weight of its own arrogance and lack of self-awareness. The constant drama, the defensiveness, the refusal to admit basic flaws, it's exhausting. If you're supposed to be the show's protector, maybe take a look in the mirror. Defending this mess only highlights how blind and irrational the whole scene has become.
This is the
anime
I'm supposed to protect. I'm glad to see it destroyed.
Forget the haters. Forget the critics. You don't need some outsider tearing Sword Art Online down when the fan base is too busy ripping itself to shreds. It's like watching a dysfunctional family brawl at the dinner table while the house burns down around them. The fans don't discuss. They blame. Every problem is always someone else's fault. There's no unity, no mutual respect. Just bitterness, hypocrisy, and fragile egos trying to scream louder than the next one. It's poetic, really. It's like that epic rap Battles of History video where Eastern and Western philosophers went head to head, except the ones on the same side didn't stick together. They tore into each other like wild dogs, throwing insults, trashing each other, and turning the whole thing into a screaming match. No respect, no teamwork, just chaos. That's the Sword Art Online fanbase in a nutshell. A toxic mess where fans rip each other apart. No one cares about the community. Everyone's just waiting to stab the next person in the back. They all act like they're better than everyone else. They think they're the true fan, the only one who really gets it, and everyone else is a joke. It's not about enjoying the show anymore. It's about who can be more smug. It's a miserable club of insecure people trying to feel important by tearing each other down. Just a toxic pile of drama and fake pride. Sword Art Online fans would thrive on Survivor. After all, they're already well acquainted with the fine arts of lying, cheating, and backstabbing. It's basically second nature to them. If anyone's ready to play the game of social deception, it's those who've spent years doing exactly that. It's hilarious how Sword Art Online fans constantly twist themselves into knots trying to make excuses and dodge criticism. The mental gymnastics are Olympic level. Anytime someone points out the show's glaring flaws, whether it's the writing, the pacing, or the paper-thin characters, they immediately deflect, attack the critic, or blame literally anything else. It's never the show's fault. It's the viewers who didn't get it, or the haters who are just jealous. The Sword Art Online fans react like predators caught on to catch a predator. Eyes wide, stammering, scrambling for any excuse they think might stick. The denial is as entertaining as the show pretends to be. The Sword Art Online fanbase is eating itself from the inside out like a rotten carcass. Zemo said it best in Captain America: Civil War. An empire toppled by its enemies can rise again, but one which crumbles from within, that's dead forever. And Sword Art Online isn't just crumbling, it's in a full-blown collapse, dragged down by the very people who claim to love it. The fan base is a chaotic cesspool of blind defenders and elitists. Then there's the delusional gatekeepers, so desperate to cling to relevance that they lash out at anyone with actual standards. They're toxic, not just to outsiders, but to each other. They eat their own. Try expressing even mild disappointment with the pacing, writing, or how the female characters are treated, and watch the fans lose their minds. Nuance is dead. Discussion is dead. What's left is a radioactive wasteland of childish insults, smug dismissal, and fan fiction tier arguments masquerading as deep analysis. This isn't just a bad community, it's a warning sign to any creator who ever thought they could coast on hype alone. The Sword Art Online fandom is what happens when you build a cult around garbage. A loud, cannibalistic echo chamber that tears itself apart while still insisting it's winning. Sword Art Online is terrible terrible because its fans destroyed it from the inside out. It didn't need the haters and the critics to tear it down. Its own audience gladly did the job. The Sword Art Online fanbase is poisonous in every sense of the word. Calling it a community is a joke. It's a volatile pit of resentment, delusion, and infighting. Compared to this disaster, the Star Wars fandom feels like a peaceful gathering of scholars. The K-pop fandom, infamous as it is, seems like a refreshing breath of spring air. Sword Art Online makes them look civil, even charming. At least Star Wars fans argue because they're passionate about a legacy. At least K-pop fans, for all their intensity, rally behind the artists they love. But Sword Art Online fans tear each other down over petty nonsense. They gatekeeper over favorite arcs, scream at each other over shipping preferences, and accuse anyone with a differing opinion of not being a real fan. It's not about the anime anymore. It's about who can yell the loudest, who can humiliate someone for disagreeing, and who can pretend they have superior taste while defending objectively bad writing. There's no camaraderie in the Sword Art Online community. So if you ever thought the Star Wars or K-pop fan bases were unbearable, spend 2 minutes in the Sword Art Online fandom. You'll be begging to go back, because whatever chaos exists in those spaces, it's nothing compared to the festering, pride-infected collapse happening inside the Sword Art Online community. Even Zack Snyder's so-called cult of devoted fans can't hold a candle to the absolute cesspool that is the Sword Art Online fanbase. The toxicity, entitlement, and sheer obnoxiousness of those fans make Snyder's crowd look like innocent children in comparison. It's a disgraceful hive of obsession and bitterness that actively drives anyone with a brain away. Sword Art Online fans are completely unsupportive of each other. It's almost impressive how fast they'll cannibalize their own. You'd think in a fandom constantly under fire from critics, there'd be some sense of solidarity. But no, the moment someone steps up to defend the series, they get dogpiled by other fans who accuse them of making things worse or giving the haters more ammo. Let that sink in. Fans attacking other fans for defending the show they all supposedly love. The logic is so backwards it's embarrassing. These people scream that defending Sword Art Online is harmful, that it makes the fandom look desperate or delusional. But then, like clockwork, those same exact people turn around and defend the series themselves when it suits them. Suddenly it's okay when they do it. Suddenly it's noble. What's that even supposed to be? If defending Sword Art Online is so awful and damaging, then why do they keep doing it? Why do they tear others down for the very same behavior they proudly engage in themselves? It's not passion. It's not criticism. It's hypocrisy and lies. They don't want to protect Sword Art Online. They want to be seen as the smartest person in the room, and they'll tear down anyone in their way, even if it's someone on their own side. This isn't a fan base. It's a toxic masquerade of fake moral high ground, where people are condemned for trying to do the very thing the attackers end up doing themselves. It's petty, it's pathetic, and it is one of the biggest reasons why the Sword Art Online community is rotting from the inside out. The most ironic part is that if the Sword Art Online fans actually supported each other, if they showed even a shred of unity, Sword Art Online wouldn't be nearly as hated as it is today. The critics would still exist, sure, but they'd be on the outside looking in. A strong, loyal, and consistent fanbase could have defended the series with confidence. It could have drowned out the hate. It could have reshaped the narrative. But instead, the fans turned on each other. They mocked their own. They belittled anyone who spoke up. They sabotaged their own community from within. The hate Sword Art Online gets isn't just from the outside. It was bred and fed by the fans themselves. Every time they tear someone down for defending the show the wrong way, every time they attack someone for liking the wrong arc or disliking a certain scene, they add fuel to the fire. They give the haters every excuse they need. They're the reason why the series is so hated. Not the critics, not the anime community at large. Them, the fans. The people who were supposed to lift the series up are the ones who dragged it down. The hypocrisy, the self-sabotage, the non-stop infighting. They've done more damage to Sword Art Online than any negative review ever could. It's not just ironic, it's tragic. And worse, it's totally deserved. If you value your sanity, stay as far away as possible from the cesspool that is the Sword Art Online fanbase. It's a hive of toxicity, delusion, and blind worship. Save yourself the headache and join the haters instead. You'll be in better company. If you actually enjoyed this video, smash that subscribe button for more Sword Art Online hate content. We're only just getting started tearing this dumpster fire apart, and trust me, things are going to get a lot uglier from here. As you can clearly see, Sword Art Online has cultivated one of the most obnoxious, toxic fan bases in existence. Honestly, it's not even surprising. When a show is this poorly written, shallow, and overhyped, it naturally becomes a magnet for the worst kind of people. Loud, defensive, and completely delusional about its quality. Bad media breeds bad fans, and Sword Art Online is living proof of that. The funniest part about Sword Art Online fans is how completely blind they are to their own flaws. They parade around around, proudly calling themselves fans of one of the worst shows ever made, as if that's some kind of achievement. At this point, they might as well walk around wearing a giant sign that says, "I have garbage taste in anime and I'm unbearable to be around." Honestly, the only reasonable reaction is to keep as much distance from them as possible. It is honestly baffling that anyone can call themselves a fan of Sword Art Online when there are countless anime out there that are infinitely better in every single way. Sword Art Online fans must either be living under a rock, completely unaware that other shows even exist, or they are so hopelessly delusional that they'll cling to this train wreck no matter how awful it gets. Either way, it's just pathetic. Having standards this low isn't something to brag about, it's something to be embarrassed by. The Sword Art Online fanbase has rightfully cemented its place as the absolute worst in the entire anime community. And honestly, they deserve every bit of the backlash they get. What goes around comes around. These fans are consistently rude, obnoxious, and toxic to everyone else, so there's no reason anyone should treat them with anything but the same contempt. In fact, the smartest move is to avoid them altogether. Engaging with Sword Art Online fans is a complete waste of time and energy. They were simply not worth the effort. If you've made it this far, and you were still not convinced that Sword Art Online has the most toxic, unbearable fanbase of all time, then honestly, there's no saving you. At that point, you're either part of the problem or too far gone to even bother with. Grow up and actually see the world for what it is. Or don't. I really couldn't care less. That's your loss, not mine. Make sure to subscribe if you want more brutal takedowns of Sword Art Online and its clown fanbase. Ivy got plenty more where this came from.